the NCAA had a non-discrimination policy, and at some point in the 90s, it didn't include sexual orientation. And then somehow there was discussion about putting it in. And I talked to someone who was on the committee that was making this decision and said that, she told me that it was clear that people weren't comfortable with having it in there. And yet they weren't comfortable saying that they didn't want it in there. So they changed the non-discrimination policy, so it was something like, we don't discriminate against anybody, sort of an all-inclusive thing, which basically meant nothing. And then it was sometime after that where they actually did change it back to, or it was more specific and actually, identified protected classes of people and included sexual orientation. And that, of course, only applies to the NCAA infrastructure. It doesn't, they can't make policy that individual institutions have to abide by. That's up to the individual institutions. But that's huge progress, going from not even being able to include the word sexual orientation specifically to a place where now it is in there, and they are offering diversity trainings on sexual orientation and athletics, as they call it. They purchase, it takes a team educational materials and distribute that to the life skills and classes, which are taken by student athletes around the country. And they're becoming more involved in addressing this topic. As I said, it's always one step forward and maybe 2 steps back, or just the reverse with a big conservative institution. But the issue's on the table. 10 years ago, I didn't even think it was on the table. It wasn't even near the table.